Professor, muito feliz de estar aqui, um grande privilégio. Também sou, nem sei se vivo ou se eu só cito Justiça e o que o dinheiro não compra. Parece que eu só li esses dois livros. Voltando porque você estava falando para a Gabriela, nos seus livros você fala da importância da escola deixar de ter como função só preparar para o mercado de trabalho e resgatar uma educação que seja moral e cívica. No nosso contexto brasileiro, Gabriela já deve estar arrepiadinha quando fala de educação moral e cívica, porque nos lembra a época da ditadura. Do mesmo lado, ou do lado oposto, quando a gente vai trazer alguns temas democráticos, né, de inclusão de direitos, vamos falar de racismo, vamos falar de homofobia, vamos falar de machismo dentro da escola, a gente tem uma parte significativa da sociedade que se levanta no movimento Escola Sem Partido, dizendo tirem a ideologia de dentro das escolas. Se a gente vive numa sociedade tão plural, com valores morais tão diferentes, que educação cívica e moral possível existe?
I don't think that we can, Juliana, I don't think we should have ideology in the schools in the sense of the professor or the university imposing a certain ideological view on the students. That is not civic education, that's indoctrination. Okay. We don't want that. But that does not mean that values should not be present and debated as a subject of lively controversy and reflection. Because to teach, well, the subject I teach is moral and political philosophy. And one of the ways I teach it is to expose students to what famous philosophers of the past have written about justice and the common good and virtue. Plato and Aristotle up through Immanuel Kant. But not only that, I want students to read what these famous philosophers had to say, not only to see them as episodes in the history of ideas, like museum pieces on a shelf, but to see these philosophers as addressing big questions that we still need to think about today. What does it mean to have a just society? What should we do about rising inequality? What should be the role of money in markets in a good society? What do we owe one another as fellow citizens? These are philosophical questions, but also immediate practical questions. They are controversial. They involve competing values. But I think our job in higher education, especially in moral and political philosophy, is to equip students to think and reason and argue and reflect about these questions, not to impose a single answer, but to cultivate their capacity to be philosophers, which is closely connected to the capacity to be democratic citizens.
Mas se você ensina a questionar, a comparar, você já está confrontando os valores que eles trazem de casa. Isso pode ser considerado ideologia pelos pais, que o Escola Sem Partido é isso, é esse confronto, certo? Então, o que é chamado de ideologia? O que é chamado de uma discussão moral, uma formação moral? Acho que o centro da nossa dificuldade é essa.
Well, it's a fair question, and the answer may be different for young children in grade school and for students in high school and in university. And I think the sensitivity of the questions introduced, maybe that should vary according to the development and the age of the student. But by the time they reach university, I want students to be exposed to the full range of issues, however controversial, because that's the only way they'll learn to think for themselves.